This is the House of Hockey podcast on the Hockey Podcast Network. Hockey is more than a game, it's a lifestyle. It's you, the diehard supportive fans, your favorite players who are on the team you cheer for, and the organization who supports them.
The companies that make your gear, bags, and beer league sweaters. The hockey moms and hockey dads, and everything else that makes this House of Hockey your home. Come on in. I'm Breezy.
And I'm Rae Rae.
And this is our house. So how does it feel to be in the presence of a 4.0 student?
Oh, bravo.
I thought you had a gun. Holy crap.
No, it does kind of look like a gun, the cast on my hand. I know, it's horrible.
Oh, that's funny.
Well, I am so proud of you, Breezy 4.0. How does it feel to be in the presence of a COVID survivor and hand sprain victim this week?
Oh, man. I am so proud of you that you made it out.
Okay, yay. Well, welcome everybody to the House of Hockey podcast, episode 112. I'm tired of figuring out if you're supposed to say 112, 112. Is there an and or is there not an and?
When do we retire the have to announce what episode it is?
Never.
Okay.
Never, my 4.0 student.
Okay. I'm Breezy, one of your hosts.
And I'm your other host, Rae Rae, in case I didn't say that because I can't remember anything anymore. No. Playoff hockey is the only thing that's gotten me through this week.
Yeah, I have to agree. It's been a wild ride as far as all those games have gone so far. What do you think?
I am loving every minute of it. I am surprised at how just about every game is an even series as of when we're recording this. Like the sweep ability factor, I think it's only with one team as we're recording. So that's a little surprising. I think in the years past, we've seen quite a few teams in the first round go in with a sweep and an unpredicted sweep. So I think that's unexpected. I'm also loving the fact that the games are spaced out like a half hour apart,
right?
Where you can flip between the games. Like you can catch almost two full games if you are watching one, and then at the intermission you switch to the other, and then at the intermission you switch back. Like you can get a good amount of the game in, so you're not really like having to choose as somebody who doesn't have a single team in the playoffs they are cheering for. It makes it a little more exciting, so that I'm super thrilled about. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's cool that you're able to catch more than one game. They're not going on at the same time. Like you said, they're staggered. So the only complication is when they go into overtime, or in the sake of a triple overtime. It gets a little hard because some games are either delayed or then you want to watch a game, but then you can't get out of this overtime game. So, but that's the beauty of the playoffs, I guess, right?
Oh yeah. That triple overtime game with the Penguins and the Rangers was so crazy.
It was
wild. Yeah, and especially because their backup goalie, Louis Domingo. How do you say it? Domingue.
Yeah.
He was very busy eating spicy pork and broccoli at one point, which he said might have helped him do good, but also it was a lot. And now they're actually serving that at PPG Paints Arena at one of their stands. Like they're actually like, that is now a menu item you can order, which I think is just such a brilliant move. And something that hockey does so well is they pick on one thing and it becomes like a running joke throughout the rest of the playoffs. And then the arena integrates it and like makes the fans so happy if they're in the know. Sorry, Duke is like over here just breathing down my neck. Anyway, go ahead.
That was me like 2 weeks ago. And my mom's dog was just breathing annoyingly.
But yeah, that was super crazy to see. Also, goalies. I want to read this to you. this has been the other biggest headline, I think, in the playoffs. This is crazy. Here are the salaries of goalies starting games in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Husso, 750. Domingue, is that how we settled on it? 750. So. Ingram, 750. Kochetkov, 842. That's also an incredible story of him getting put into the game. Swayman, 925, and Odinger, 925. That's bananas, considering we pay, like, on most of those teams, 2 goalies sometimes like $4.5 to $5 million a year, and this is what we have going in the playoffs this year. But that's what's so amazing about Stanley Cup hockey, playoff hockey, is that, like, anything can happen. And this is insane. And I don't know the last time, at least in my recent history of following hockey, that this has been the case where we've got, like, backup on backup minor league goalies starting games in the Stanley Cup playoffs and, like, actually doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, I would say they're doing a really good job. And keeping it on the whole goalie thing, 2 goalies that do make a lot of money have been floppy Joes, and I've been so triggered over it. And I know I probably should let it go, and our opinions, we've already discussed, that don't matter, but we get paid to do this. So I'm going to put my opinion out there. Mike Smith, did you not see that clip? I gave you the clip. I don't know if anybody watched the Oilers and Kings game when Mike Smith basically threw himself backwards after, like, barely getting hit.
Yes.
I was like,
this is not the NBA. Calm down, floppy. This is not Major League Soccer either.
I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, it barely even happened. Cody Ceci barely pushed Athanasiou into him. And I'm sorry. I was just like, are you freaking kidding me?
Yep. And Igor Shesterkin had a similar moment too in one of the games.
Oh my God, that was okay. Yeah. So he ended up coming from back around the net and, like, lifted his foot up and around in such a way to, not that he was, like, tripping Jeff Carter, but I think he was trying to make contact in some way or form, right? To draw a penalty, which he clearly successfully did. But this kid could have won a freaking Oscar. I was going to say Oscar, because he not only initiated it, he barely got hit by Jeff Carter. Jeff Carter was in momentum, like, going for it. He wasn't going after that guy. And he flips around and starts grabbing his back and rolling back and forth on the ice, right? And then gets up like nothing happened.
Mm-hmm.
Are you kidding me?
There's, like, where's the penalty for that? What's that penalty? That's like being a total pussy on the ice penalty.
Like, I mean, I get you got to do what you got to do to get the penalties, and sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. If it was on your team, would you like it? I don't know. I feel like I'm pretty fair when it comes down to being like, oh, that was kind of crappy, but, like, what do you do? Like, I'm not the ref, right? But at some point you got to be like, come on, like, I'm not really cheering for either the Penguins or the Rangers, so I have no stake in this game. But it was clear today, maybe I'm a little biased because I love Jeff Carter, but clear as day that it was a bad call.
Did the refs call the penalty on Carter for that, right?
On Carter, yeah. I think Carter was the only one that got it. I was triggered. I left the room.
Oh God, this is serious, everybody. This is very serious. Yeah, it's bullshit. Come on. You can't, like, this league is not soft. It's, like, definitely people would argue that it's gotten way softer in the last few years. So we don't need any more of this kind of behavior in our game and in our league. So let's just put a stop to that right now. You should go have a talk with Igor and let him know how you feel. We should send him this clip. Also, the goalie things that I have loved was from, I think it's Kochetkov. He had zero problem fighting Brad Marchand. Did you see? They went like bitch slapping sticks at each other at one point. Like Marchie got like the goalie had come out of the paint just a little bit to like clear the puck, but Brad was there and he like whipped his stick and hit the goalie, and then the goalie slapped Marchie back, and then he like hit him again, and then the goalie like full on like pushed him. And I was like, I fucking love this guy. He's my new favorite player. He has like a goalie going up against Marchie. Like you don't like typically see that. Like you'll see them maybe like push back a little bit, like right if they're like in your paint, but to like full on fight him and have nothing to care about it whatsoever, because he knows he's not going to get the penalty because he's the goalie.
Right.
That was brilliant. And the other funny thing was, so he's Russian, Kochetkov. I hope I'm saying it right, guys.
Couldn't tell.
I'm pretty sure he's Russian, and he speaks like almost no English, like very little English. Okay. And so when he was put into the first game that he was in, he was having an issue with his blade or his skate, and he had to skate over to the bench, but like he couldn't express what was wrong. And so they had to yell down the bench to Svechnikov to see like what he was trying to say, like what was wrong with him. Which like, I just can't even imagine. Like, okay, you're a backup goalie. You have been playing in the KHL for a long time. You just came over to the US. You're in this minor league system, and then you don't speak any English. You're all of a sudden thrown into a Stanley Cup playoff game, which is like a huge deal. There's something wrong with your skate and you can't communicate what's like even going on. It's just a great game, but like they figured it out. They just like yelled down the bench, like Svetch, we need, translate, please. Stop it, Alex. I'm not talking to you right now. This is not about Alex the dog. This is about Kochetkov.
Oh man, I love dogs that have like human names.
Yeah. Alexander. Oh my God.
I was watching a TikTok video the other day, and someone asked their like, I think it was second grade students to name their puppy, and someone named it Craig.
That's Craig. A great name. Like from Craig. Southern Charm.
Yeah.
Anyway,
man, that's funny.
You'll love to see it. I love all of these storylines that are happening, like these subplots that are going on that get brought out, and I love to see it. Like I love to see it. It's the best. It's the best.
It's funny too, because I feel like there's so much that goes into it that they're showing more of. I particularly think that they're showing more of. I mean, we saw I don't know if you saw it. I think I might have sent it to you, but the Avs apparently tried to troll the Preds for morning skate and left the 7-2 score up on the Jumbotron.
Oh my God.
And I was like sitting there thinking, I was like, that's pretty clever, because like it could be like a troll, like a jab, right? Like, you guys better practice, or it could have been motivating for the Preds, and the Preds did come out good. They did lose their second game, so it's 2-0 right now. But it's funny how like, so that was like a troll, I would think.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And then I saw somewhere, I don't know if it was true or not, but when the Oilers went out for their morning skate, that apparently they they might have been at Crypto. I think they were at Crypto. The lights weren't on yet, and they wouldn't release any of the goals to like the goalie post up. So it could have been that. It could have also been a troll too. Oh, someone said that they were early, so it could have been that kind of case. I don't know the whole story. So, but it's just funny how
great.
I mean, home ice advantage, like you could do whatever you want. Like, is it to your favor or is it not to your favor? Obviously, it didn't work out for either the Preds or the Kings. Or I guess it didn't work out for the Kings, but it definitely worked out for the Avs if they got the win. But I just thought that was funny.
Yeah, it is funny. And it's amazing because I think we've heard a few stories from some of our guests about how the away locker rooms and things that teams have specifically done to like torture or intimidate, torture is a strong word, intimidate the away team with like extra small hallways, extra small like lockers, horrible
Right.
what, like, you know, they can do whatever they want within reason and get away with it in this league, which is another reason to love this sport, because like I don't think they do that in like the MLB, you know, like they're too busy recording signs and trying to steal whatever they do. So, you know, we don't have
Yeah.
time for that in hockey. We're all about like, let's just screw with them mentally and put like the
Yeah.
score on them. That's brilliant.
Prank wars. Yeah. It's pretty funny. I gotta, you gotta love it. Although, I mean, it does suck for, I guess, the team that's getting pranked, but it's all in good fun, right? I think it's going to get
Yeah.
something going. So,
This week's episode of the House of Hockey podcast is brought to you by
Hockey fans, the pursuit for the Stanley Cup is on, and DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL, has an unbelievable offer for the most exciting playoffs in sports. Oh, yeah. New customers can bet $5 on any team to win and get $100 in free bets no matter what, win or lose. Looking to turn a small bet into a big payday during playoffs? With DraftKings same game parlays, you can do just that. Create your own parlay by combining multiple bets like which team will win, how many goals will be scored, and more. It's your shot at an even bigger payout. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. Best of all, you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code THPN. That's THPN for the Hockey Podcast Network. Bet $5 on any NHL team to win and get $100 in free bets no matter what. That's code THPN at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details.
something else we see a lot in Stanley Cup playoffs that we don't see in regular season are what the announcers like to call extracurriculars on the ice, which it really is starting to annoy me, that phrase. They really
yeah.
need to come up with something else. But when after the whistle is blown, the players start scrumming and fighting, and like we
Yeah.
see so much more of that. We've definitely seen some teams pull back from that, where like they've gotten too caught up in that and it's taken away from their game. But we see a lot more of that in playoff hockey, where they are just like going after each other. Like the amount of fighting we see is increasingly like at least 10 per game, and then in like
Yeah.
regular season you would maybe see like 2,
Right.
maybe 1,
Yeah.
2, depending on like the team and whatever. But I live for that. I live for that, just to like see what's going to happen, you know?
Yeah. And I love the penalty box reading the lips, because I feel like they
Yes.
purposely are like showing more like internal penalty box, like of the players going back and forth. So, yeah, I don't know. This is such a good time of year.
It's so good. What would be a better way to describe the extracurricular activities? Like, what's a better word for the announcers? Because if I hear that one more time, I swear, like, oh, now first there's some extracurricular activities on the ice after the whistle's been blown. Like, really? Okay, guys.
I
God,
don't know.
it's you know what it is for me? It's some of the ESPN announcers.
Yeah.
Bucci should call every single game, because he's got like the passion and the fire that you want to hear. And he has like the hockey lingo that he puts out there. Like he's got a couple of phrases too that he repeats a little bit that I can't stand, but I'd rather listen to Bucci call a game with AJ Mleczko like any day of the week than half of those other guys that I can't even name, because they're just so boring and dreadful to listen to. I really wish they would work with some of the team's announcers to have them like up in the box. And like you have the color guy should be a color guy from the one team, and then the play-by-play guy is from the other team. So then it's fair and balanced. And, you know, you can't bitch and moan that the broadcasters are being like one-sided or whatever, favorable. But God, it's just like dreadful to listen to some of these guys. Like, Oh my God. What, like, could you sound a little more excited? This is like crazy good, you know? So anyway,
Yeah.
that's my rant on that. Any other thoughts on a new word for extracurriculars on the ice?
Hey, I really don't know. Yeah, you kind of keep me on my toes on that one. I have no idea what to say.
Like something on the playground, like
I'd say, yeah, like
um
going on I don't know, a recess break. I watch a lot of Survivor, so like I'm immediately thinking of like going to the water hole, you know,
there you go. That's good.
going
I
to the
like
water hole.
that. We're going to the water hole, folks.
Going to the water hole.
It's a water hole of elephants on the ice taking their tusks to one another.
Yeah. Too funny.
Whatever, that would be funnier than whatever the hell they're saying. I can't. It just drives me nuts. Does it drive you as nuts as it drives me?
Yeah, there's
The
certain things
broadcasters?
yeah, there's certain things that get me. Something, and it's probably really petty or like really stupid for me to like to say this, but like there's a single word that like every broadcaster is using, and I don't remember this word being used like more like any time other than the last like 4 or 5 years, right? But when they say it caroms off the boards, it irks me so much. I hate the word carom.
What are you saying?
You know, when they're like, oh, you know, the puck caromed off the boards.
Creamed?
No, they say carom.
Oh, I don't know why. No, I don't know. Isn't it careen? Careened.
No,
Careened.
well, I don't think so.
No?
I've heard
Okay.
caroms off the boards, and I'm like, maybe I'm just being
Maybe are they
delusional
saying
right
it
now. I don't know.
carries off the boards?
No, caroms off the boards.
I don't like that
Maybe
word either.
I don't like it either. I don't know what I don't know. I don't know. Gotta ask Andy about it. I think Andy said it too.
Did he really?
I think Andy has said it.
All right, we'll have to check in with our play-by-play and Andy Zilch, friend of the pod,
Yeah.
who is the play-by-play announcer for the San Diego Gulls. I'll ask him because,
Okay.
and speaking of Andy, that's funny you brought him up. There is one announcer on ESPN that sounds like Andy, and I thought it was Andy. Like it's his voice, like the tone of the voice was so similar.
Yeah.
The calling was not, but I was like, Andy? He would have told us. He would have told us. He would have told us.
Yeah. Speaking of friends of the pod, I was watching the Leafs and Lightning game last night, and I heard Greg in the audience, and I was like, "That's my boy, Greg."
Like through the broadcast, you heard Greg?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I heard Greg. It was
love it.
I think it was after a whistle, and all I heard was, "All right, Bolts fans, let's go." I was like,
your highlight of the week, Breezy.
My highlight
that had you giggling before we even started the pod.
It's because I watched the video again. Darrly Sutter, that guy will forever have a little piece of my heart for what he did for the Kings. But his post-game interviews always get me. I feel like he's just so funny and without trying to be funny. And he was talking about my boy Matthew Tkachuk, and they were talking about him. Matthew kind of getting into a little something, and they're like, "Is that something you don't want to see?" And Sutter goes, "No, I do want to see that." We'll have to share the clip for you, but it had me giggling.
Oh my God, he's so mumbly and like monotone. I had to watch it a couple times because, like, thank God they put captions on this too. I was like, I don't know what he's saying. I don't even know what is happening here. I'll play the clip. Let me turn this up for everybody.
With Matthew Tkachuk getting involved with raffles, is that something you'd rather not see?
No, I rather would see it. That was playoffs, Eric. I mean, got a little confrontation.
I got like every other word of what he said. Like I got every other word. I got confrontation. I would. And like, that was all I got. But could you imagine that guy like trying to yell your name down the bench? Like, how would you be able to make out your name?
I love it. I don't know. You know, a few episodes ago when we were talking about, you know, Foley getting traded to the Flames, and I would have to get like Foley jersey. I just got to stick with, you know, my trend here. I don't know if I could get a Toffoli jersey over a Kachuk jersey at this point.
No,
It's
I think
tough.
you need to put a pause on the Toffoli jerseys, and I think it's time for Kachuk.
I think it is. I think that's going to be the
Yeah.
next investment here. So
The wives of the Calgary Flames are having the best, girlfriends, wives, whatever,
yeah,
having the best time of their life in playoff hockey. Did you see them act like Jack Sparrow walking down the red carpet? There was like a red carpet out of the locker room or wherever they were. There's this, I think it's on NHL set too. They had the Pirates of the Caribbean music, the you
oh
know, that
my,
like
yeah,
theme song. And they're all like trying to walk like Jack Sparrow, who's just
oh
like a
jeez,
complete spaz. And it is the funniest thing. And then one of the wives at the end kneels down like Captain Morgan and pulls out a bottle of Captain Morgan and takes a chug. Flipping hockey wives and girlfriends are the best. Are you kidding me? God, this sport is just the best. I hate all the other sports. I hate all the other sports, all the other people who talk about all the other sports are the best. They're not.
yeah,
You suck. Get into hockey.
yeah.
You're like so missing out.
And I have to say, I'm kind of surprised. I feel like the Flames Stars matchup, I feel like it's such a low scoring game compared to like the two teams, especially the Flames, because I had them as making it pretty far all the way. If I probably jinxed it, but that series is so surprising to me. And yes, please send me that clip because I love it. Because
I will.
obviously Foley's there. I'm sure Cat
Oh
was a
yeah.
part of that. And you got to
Oh
figure
yeah.
you still have Toffoli, Luch, and Lewis. They were all in the Kings together. They're all like three really good friends. So yeah, I saw this headline come out and it said that the Panthers captain, Alex Barkov, is going to continue to donate $1,600 per goal and $800 per assist to the JDC hospitals during the playoffs. And over his entire regular season, he had 39 goals and 49 assists. So his total donation amount for the regular season was $101,600, which is crazy.
That's amazing.
So, I mean, he's obviously up for some awards there, but for him to do that, and like, it's not like I just read about this. And I mean,
Yeah,
he's
I
been doing it
hadn't
all
heard it.
season long. So,
Yeah, I had no idea.
yeah. And Barkov's always, I mean, he's always been kind of a more quiet kind of guy, but I definitely think that should be mentioned more often. And it's just really cool. And I think I'm definitely cheering for him to keep scoring goals and keep getting assists. So hopefully he can continue to do that.
Yes. I think the last thought I had about the goalie topic specifically. Sorry, guys, I'm a little all over the place. This is the first day I've actually felt like semi like a human being in the last week between a busted hand, that my cast looks like I'm holding a gun. I am not, and getting over COVID. I think what's going to be interesting to see with all of these teams moving forward with their goalies, most of them not being the starting goalie, if that's really going to make a difference in a team being able to advance in the playoffs. Like, we're really going to see just how important a starting goalie is or isn't, and how well a backup goalie really can be. And I would argue that it's not going to make that much of a difference. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, I think when it comes to playoffs, every team is going to play hard. And I think you have to think of each other as one of your normal, starting lineup kind of guys, right? There are so many backup goalies, and I think that teams are afraid to use their backup goalies. And there's teams like the Kings where Jonathan Quick, he's been the only starter for playoff games over the last, I think they said like 16 seasons or something like that, whatever it was. But he's obviously struggling. Like, you have to have your backup come in, and you can't play the same goalie all 16 games. that you're going to have to win, right? So I don't think it's going to matter. I think that they all need to play for one another. And I think you're going to see some star power come out from some unknown names.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you just look at like numbers wise, how many more goalies there are that are super talented just in like a general pool of people, right? Because there's only 2 spots for them on the roster,
Right.
that you like there, you're bound to have somebody who's just as talented, maybe not,
Right.
star quality, whatever, but just because of ice time and not having the playing time and the playing experience. But I don't think that makes them any less qualified to be there and carry the team. I do think there is something to be said for experience in those high pressure situations, but we've also seen hockey players they just get in there and they get it done because they know they have the support of the team. And at the end of the day, that's what it's about, baby.
And I think a perfect example of this would be for the Preds. Saros is out right now. He suffered an injury the last season, or the last game of the season. So you have Riddick, who is the backup goalie, and then you have Ingram, who is brought up from obviously the AHL. Riddick let in 5 goals in the first period of the first game. Ingram came up, right? Ingram started the second game. Preds played really well.
Right.
So should he really be the backup goalie and not Riddick? But they're both really good, but this could be Ingram's time to shine. And I think that's a really good thing that could have happened for any player. Is if it's unfortunate when someone gets hurt, but if you're being able to brought up like it's your time to shine. Again, Sean Durzi from the Kings. Doughty came out. Durzi comes in. In my personal opinion, I think Durzi's just as good as Drew Doughty, and you wouldn't have been able to see it if Doughty was out.
Yeah. Yep. It's an opportunity for some of these stars that are waiting in the wings to show off what they can really do and prove themselves, which comes with a lot of pressure. But I do think that they tend to thrive pretty well, especially just given the nature of this game and how everybody is sort of team first and supportive of one another, at least from what we see on the outside. I'm sure not all the teams are as supportive, but
and
I would
come in
venture to
during
guess
playoff time. It's crazy, and the travel and the locker rooms before games, after games, whether win or lose, it's there's a lot of energy there. So
are you planning to go to a Kings playoff hockey game? What the fuck? We haven't talked about this. What's wrong with you? I mean, we know people there. What are you doing? Why aren't you going to a game?
I don't know. I wasn't able to go on Friday because that was when obviously I worked. I wasn't able to make it down to the game. And then tomorrow, Sunday, it's Mother's Day. I won't be able to make it there either. But if they do come back,
Breezy, there's going to be another Mother's Day next year. You love your mother. She knows you love her. I think you can go to the Kings game.
We'll see. I don't know. We'll see if I can make it work. But
Breezy, when this might not happen again for you as a local. You need to in case, you decide one day you want to move to Nashville or something like that. You can't miss this opportunity. Get your ass to the game and go watch. I can't believe this. I can't believe I am yelling at you to go watch the Kings in the Stanley Cup playoffs. The odds of them advancing are like this good. I'm holding up a 0, guys. Wow. You need to get your butt down to crypto and go see them play and cheer them on and go see our friends and go say hi to everybody. I'll hook you up with my girl, Alma. She's a good friend and listener of the podcast. Go.
Okay.
You need to go. Can I get like a guarantee on Mate's life that you're going to do this?
on Nate's life.
I need something strong from you because I feel very strongly about this.
You do
I
feel very
know-
strongly about it.
I know how we feel about big crowds and things like that, but this is important and you're going to be really mad at yourself if you don't go.
That is true. That is true. All right. I'll see what I can make work.
That sounds really weak to me.
I'm sorry. It's like the final week on my other class. We got a lot going on here.
That doesn't matter. You got a 4.0, kid. You're fine. You're fine. Your mother would be supportive of you going. You could take her. That would be a great Mother's Day gift. Surprise, Mom. We're going to
We're going to the Kings game.
Breezy. Come on.
My. Okay.
Thanks for coming over to our House of Hockey podcast and hanging out with us. We'll be back next week with a brand new episode. And in the meantime, you can follow us on social media. Just look for House of Hockey podcast. We'll be back next week.